Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Food and Water Watch's December Livable Future Live. Tonight, we will be talking about the work we're doing across the country with our volunteer program, and we'll be hearing from a few volunteers themselves. We'll also tell you about a new program that offers some exciting new ways to engage with our work. My name is Janine Sheffert. I am Food and Water Watch's Senior Manager of Philanthropy Events, and I will be your host this evening. As people are joining, please take a moment to introduce yourself in the chat. We'd love to see your name, where you're joining us from, and what brings you here today. For any of you new to Food and Water Watch, welcome. We are a national organization fighting for safe food, clean water, and a livable climate for all. We organize for grassroots activism at all levels of government, local, state, and federal, and we work to create the change and the solutions we need. For any of you new to Livable Future Live, welcome. This is our monthly virtual education series. Each month, we focus on a different topic relevant to our livable future. Tonight, we'll be highlighting volunteer stories and ways to build people power. And next month, for our first Livable Future Live of 2026, on Wednesday, January 21st, I'll be hosting Food and Water Watch Executive Director Winona Howder and Judith Enck, Executive Director of Beyond Plastics. Judith Enck is the author of Winona's chosen book of the year, The Problem with Plastics: How We Can Save Ourselves and Our Planet Before It's Too Late. I hope you'll join us for this annual Book of the Year event. I'm really looking forward to it, and we'll put a sign-up link in the chat. Before we get started, I want to take a moment to acknowledge that we're all coming together in community today with a diverse set of backgrounds, perspectives, and experiences, but with a common belief in the importance of fighting for clean water, clean food, and a livable future for all. As you share your thoughts and your questions in the comments, please make sure to keep them on topic and respectful. We do have someone monitoring the chat, and we will ask anyone not abiding by this request to leave the event. A few quick notes about Zoom before we get started. If you'd like to turn on closed captioning to add subtitles to your screen, click Show Captions in the Zoom toolbar. We'll add instructions for that in the chat as well. Please use this chat box throughout the evening to share your thoughts and the reactions to what you're hearing. This chat is also where we will share information and links, so keep an eye out for those. And finally, I am recording this event, and I will share the recording with you in an email I send out tomorrow. We have a lot to cover this evening and quite a few special guests to hear from, so I want to jump right in. I'm excited to start the evening off by introducing Food and Water Watch Executive Director Winona Howder. Winona, thank you so much for sharing your message with us tonight.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our December Livable Future Live. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to each and every one of you. We so much appreciate that you're here and that you're part of our Food and Water Watch community. You know, as I reflect on 2025 and the last 20 years, one of the things that stands out is that it's by standing together and organizing people power that we win our goals. And volunteers play a huge part in making that happen. I'm so proud of our vibrant and active volunteer community. And tonight you're going to be hearing from a few of our nearly 4,000 dedicated volunteers. And we'll discuss a few recent wins that were possible because of the growing people power we have. So whether you knocked on doors, wrote letters to the editor, called your elected officials, signed petitions, went to a hearing, supported us financially, or attended events like this one, you are playing an important role in growing our people power and building community. It takes all of these things to do this work. And I am honored and thankful to be doing it with you. Thank you again for being here this evening and for being with us as we wrap up our 20th anniversary year and look forward to the next.
Thank you so much, Winona. Beautiful words indeed. It is the people power that gets this work done. We'll be talking about that people power, that important building of community and resistance throughout tonight's event. Our next speaker is Food and Water Watch Volunteer Network Director, Michelle Allen. Michelle is here to talk about a big component of that people power, as Winona just said, our volunteers. Michelle heads up the volunteer network that boasts over 4,000 volunteers across the country. Michelle, thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I am really excited to be here with you all to talk about our incredible food and water volunteer network. Bear with me for just a moment while I share my screen here. All right. As Janine said, again, I am Michelle Allen. I'm our volunteer network director. In my role, I get to work with volunteers all across the country to hold our elected leaders accountable to protecting our communities and our health over corporate bottom lines. Throughout Food and Water Watch's 20 years, we have always worked hand in hand with volunteers to advance and win our campaigns. From banning fracking in New York and Maryland to stopping dangerous carbon pipelines from being built across the Midwest to stopping mega dairies in Oregon, all of these victories were possible because of the volunteers who worked alongside us to make them happen. But we have really big goals, and that means we need more people with us to ensure that we can build enough people power that we need to hold our elected leaders accountable. So in 2020, we launched the Food and Water Volunteer Network to create more pathways for volunteers to get involved in our work. And importantly, create more opportunities for volunteers to take on more responsibility and leadership in our campaigns. And I'm really happy to report that since we have launched the Volunteer Network 5 years ago, we are now over 4,000 volunteers strong. We have staff organizers on the ground in 9 states working with volunteers to pass policies at the local and state levels. And we have our food action and water action teams, which are made up of volunteers all across the country working to advance national campaigns. So across that national and state work, we have 45 volunteer leaders who are all taking on really important roles like leading lobby meetings with elected officials, planning rallies, and training other volunteers. So all of this work together, volunteers have contributed over 13,000 hours this year alone. This is incredible, and this dedication from our volunteers is truly what makes the work that we do possible. We just cannot win these victories and hold our elected officials accountable without the many, many volunteers who work with us. And thank you so much to everyone here who is a volunteer. Thank you for everything that you do. So as you heard Winona talk about earlier, building and demonstrating people power is at the heart of what we do. And we need our elected leaders at every level of government, from the municipal level to the federal level, to vote for policies that will protect our communities. And like I was just saying a moment ago, in order to make that happen, we need volunteers working alongside us and building support for our issues by doing things like going out to farmers markets and gathering petition signatures, helping us make thousands of phone calls and send thousands of text messages to encourage others to take action. We need help from volunteers getting media attention on our issues by writing and submitting letters to the editor. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that volunteers do with us. But the good news is when we're working together, we can achieve a lot. And 2025 has been no different. Despite the terrible political climate, we've still won a lot this year. And so I want to take a moment to celebrate some of these victories. This has been a really hard year. With Trump in the White House, we have watched in horror as he has advanced his cruel agenda, but we have fought back at the national level and we've won some crucial victories. So let's take a moment to celebrate some of our top wins from this year. So our most recent win just happened 2 weeks ago. So this is basically breaking news. We have been working to address microplastics in our drinking water by forcing the EPA to take the first step in setting up regulations and ultimately getting microplastics out of our water. So there's a provision within the Safe Drinking Water Act that says if 7 governors collectively petition the EPA to include a new water contaminant to monitor, the EPA has to comply, or they got to come up with a bunch of other contaminants that are higher priority. But I'm happy to report that just 2 weeks ago, 7 governors filed their petition to force the EPA to monitor microplastics. This is a huge win. We got 7 governors to work together and collectively petition the EPA. It's an incredible feat, and it required many volunteers working across several states to make it happen. Later in today's program, you're going to be hearing from volunteer leader Katie Olson, who was crucial in getting her governor in Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, to join this petition. And now we're on to the next step. So the fight isn't over. So our next step here, there's more that we need to do to get the EPA to follow through and get microplastics out of our drinking water. So we'll talk about later on how you can get involved with that campaign. Also at the national level, we have worked incredibly hard to resist Trump's agenda and push back against his priorities to dismantle core functions of the government, like keeping our drinking water clean. So one of the very first fights we took on after Trump was sworn in was protecting the lead out of water rule. This is a Biden administration rule created to ensure that old lead water pipes would be replaced over the next 10 years. Still, millions of families across the US, their drinking water is delivered by old lead water pipes, which is unacceptable. We know that consuming lead is dangerous. Earlier this year, though, there was an effort by Trump and congressional Republicans to undo Biden's lead out of water rule and keep lead in our water. But we fought back. We drove in hundreds of calls to Congress. We organized rallies in strategic congressional districts. And ultimately, we stopped that effort to revoke the lead out of water rule. But since then, threats to our climate, our food, and water have been constant. But similarly, we have been relentless in fighting back and working to protect important clean water programs and food assistance programs like free school lunches, SNAP, and WIC. A few months ago, Congress passed Trump's big, ugly bill that slashed funding for healthcare, for SNAP, and more. And unfortunately, the Republican majority in Congress right now means that we can't stop everything. But we were successful in stopping some of the cruel proposals in that bill, including free school lunches for children. So this program, the free school lunch program, feeds 20 million children, and Trump wanted to take billions of dollars out of that program to pay for tax cuts for billionaires and corporations. But we fought back. Again, we drove in thousands of calls to key House members and senators. We organized a series of rallies in cities to put pressure on those members and reduced the damage of the bill. So we protected that free school lunch program from being cut. We also stopped a free speech attack on nonprofits. We stopped a new tax on solar and wind projects and a plan to privatize public lands. So we know that these threats are going to keep coming, but together we will keep fighting back. We also won some victories at the state level. So I just want to share a couple of those really exciting victories with you all. So first state victory I want to share here is stopping the Cancer Gag Act in Iowa. Big agriculture is desperate to continue lining its pockets, and Bayer Monsanto put up a big fight in Iowa this year where they tried to pass the Cancer Gag Act. So I think we all know by now, right, the health impacts of pesticides like Roundup, they're well known. And if passed, the Cancer Gag Act would have shielded Bayer Monsanto from any accountability of the harms of Roundup by preventing farmers, workers, anyone affected from exercising their right to hold the company accountable in the courts. But we stopped that bill. And so this is a huge victory that we won, right, working up against big ag. But we have to keep our eyes peeled on this one because we know Bayer Monsanto is probably going to try to come back, pass this bill in Iowa again. They're working to pass this in other states, and maybe even a possible federal bill. So this is probably not the last that you're going to hear about the Cancer Gag Act. But we stopped it once in Iowa, and we can do it again. The last victory I would like to share is that we stopped a dirty pipeline proposal in New York called Project Maple. This was a fracked gas pipeline expansion that was planned that would have further instilled us in a fossil fuel future at a time when we should be leaving gas in the ground and moving towards 100% clean, renewable energy. So, our team in New York has a long history of fighting and winning against the fossil fuel industry, and this was no different. We held a series of rallies to raise visibility about this dangerous proposal and got surrounding cities and counties to pass local measures opposing the pipeline. And all this opposition led to the company pulling its plans for the expansion. So those were just some of the incredible victories we won this year. And again, we cannot do it alone. So thank you so much to all of you on this call who are part of making them happen. But if you aren't yet a volunteer with us, I want to let you know that anyone can volunteer, and no matter how much or little time you have, and regardless of how you want to contribute to the work, there is a role for you to play. So I'm going to wrap up my comments here with just sharing a couple of the concrete ways that you can get plugged in. So first, if you live in one of these 9 states, there is an organizer on the ground in your area leading state and local campaigns. And we can get you connected with an organizer in your area if you aren't already. But if you don't live in one of these states, or even if you do, but you also want to work on national issues, we can get you plugged in to one of our national action teams to fight for safe food and clean water for all. Our food action team is working to stop big ag-backed bills in Congress and work towards a better food system that is going to work for all of us. And our water action team is working to protect our drinking water from threats like microplastics, PFAS, and ensure our drinking water stays out of corporate hands. So again, no matter where you live and whether you have 10 hours a month or 1 hour a month to volunteer, there is a role for you to play. I would say the best place to find upcoming actions and events is on our Mobilize dashboard. So you just visit mobilize.us/FWW to see all of our upcoming in-person and virtual events and sign up to join us. And again, if you are already a volunteer with us, thank you so much for all you do. Thank you for making our work and our victories possible. And with that, Janine, I'm going to hand it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for that overview of an impressive and expansive volunteer program. We've added links to our Food and Water Watch events and volunteer page and our Mobilize page in the chat, and I encourage you all to check both of those links out. As we've been saying, tonight is all about building community and resistance. And I am excited to introduce our next special guest, here to invite you to another important part of People, Power, and Action. Please allow me to introduce Food and Water Watch Managing Director of Philanthropy, Tamara Tripp. Tamara, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Janine, and welcome everyone this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. I think that we all agree that this has been quite a year. First, as Winona mentioned at the top of the hour, this was Food and Water Watch's 20th anniversary year, And we've been bringing people together all year long. So, whether you've joined us as a volunteer or at one of our many events, I just want to thank you so much. And whether you've been a new member of our organization or you joined us 20 years ago, we just please know that we are truly, truly, truly grateful to you. So, and as you all know, we've also faced the start of the second Trump presidency. So tonight, as has us all reflecting on all that we've accomplished together and all that we have ahead. So, just in the past year, you just heard Michelle talk about how we prevented the Cancer Gag Act, we stopped a dirty pipeline, we protected free lunch programs, and so much more. But Trump, he's not going to stop. And we really, really, really need you and your help. It is your support that really makes everything that we do possible. So I'm excited to tell you that today we have a generous matching gift that will double your impact. That means if tonight you're able to give $25, that means it's going to be worth $50, which can strengthen our voice with signs and posters at rallies. Or if you give $500, we'll receive $1,000, which provides 1 day's worth of legal work. And really, it is with your gifts that we're able to build the people power that we're going to be talking about tonight and really growing our community. So you can give by texting gift, the word, GIFT to 23321. Again, that's texting GIFT gift to 23321, or you can follow the link that we're going to add in the chat. So I know that every one of you believes in fighting for safe food, clean water, and a livable climate. I do too, which is why I personally give to Food and Water Watch every year. I give monthly, I give throughout the year, and I truly believe in the work that we're doing. And I see it play out in every win that we do, including the recent EPA microplastics petition, which you just heard about and you'll be hearing more about this evening. It makes, it possible for us to make the phone calls, for staff to organize the campaigns, and the financial investment from people like you. We really don't take any corporate money. We don't take any money from the government. So is incredibly, incredibly important to me. It allows us to be a truly independent organization. So our donations, they really do only come from people like you. So thank you so much for being here tonight. And thank you so much for all of your generosity. And I'll kick it back to Janine.
Thank you so much, Tamara. And thank you all for your generosity today. As Tamara said, it takes all of us to do this work. So thank you so much for being an important part of it. Next up, I am excited to introduce 3 people who exemplify the people power of community to make change and build resistance. I had the pleasure of sitting down with these 3 last week, and I left so energized about the work that we're all doing together. Please allow me to introduce Food and Water Watch volunteers, Katie Olson, Liz Ndoye, and Tanya Finch. Katie, Liz, and Tanya, thank you so much for being here with us this evening.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure to be here.
There, I see all 3 of you. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So there's so much I want to talk to all of you about, so I'll jump right in. But let's start off with introductions. And let's start with you, Liz. Can you tell us where you're calling from, how long you've been volunteering with Food and Water Watch, and how you first got introduced to the organization?
Sure. First of all, I want to say thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. It's just an honor to be part of the 4,000 people whom you count as volunteers, and to be picked to represent Food and Water Watch volunteers tonight. I am from Hoboken, New Jersey, and I started volunteering with Food and Water Watch, I don't know how many years ago, but I heard a presentation about a proposed frac gas power plant that was being proposed to be built in a city very close to where I lived. And the presentation was done by Matt Smith, who was a local leader of Food and Water Watch at that time. and is now the head of New Jersey Food and Water Watch. And his presentation got me so fired up. And it was also, I believe, in the very early days of Trump's first administration. And that was it. I was hooked from that moment on. And I'm just very proud to say that our efforts got that power plant stopped. And
Fantastic.
the rest is history with my involvement with Food and Water Watch.
Yeah, thank you so much, Liz. And thank you for all the important work you've been doing in New Jersey to fight against those frack gas power plants. We'll talk more about that work in a little bit, but first let's introduce Tanya Finch. Tanya, can you tell us where you're calling from, how long you've been volunteering with us, and what got you started volunteering with Food and Water Watch?
Well, I'm from St. Cloud, Florida, which is just a little south of Orlando. And I've been volunteering since about April 2025. What got me started was I was looking for something to that was dear to my heart to give some time to. And I never heard of Food and Water Watch. I just happened to see it somewhere online or something, and I just went with it and I enjoyed it ever since. And that's where I keep my I'm very it's dear to my heart to fight for the climate, food and water, so such essential things that we all need.
Yeah.
And I've done this in the past, but I really enjoy doing it with food and water. I have a lot of support, and it's just been great.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tanya.
You're welcome.
And Katie, let's hear from you. Where are you calling from, and where do you volunteer, and how did you first get involved with Food and Water Watch?
Well, I am currently in Illinois. I am from Michigan and native Michigander and live about half the time in Michigan and half the time in Illinois these days. When my husband retires, we'll be back in Michigan all the time. And I, kind of similar to Tanya, I think I got a random email from Food and Water Watch. I'd never heard of them either, but I clicked the I'm interested in volunteering button, and somebody called me and got me involved. And I started out doing phone banking, and that's easy for me because I'm pretty darn extroverted, so it's not a problem for me to talk to total strangers. So that was easy, and I was worried about the technology part because I'm very non-techy, but everybody walked me through it and got me going, and then I've just gotten more and more involved. And obviously, I want to protect and care for Mother Earth. But specifically for me, water. I am a big, big water lover, as many Michiganders are. I mean, really big, you guys. Like, I'm in the water any chance I get. So, the idea of protecting water, I really, it sounds corny, but I consider Lake Michigan my spiritual home. That is where I just, yeah, just fills me. So I just really felt drawn to, I think folks from Michigan feel, and I feel it's warranted, an extra obligation to be good stewards of Mother Earth in general, but again, especially the water, because we are the seat of the Great Lakes. And what an honor.
Thank you, Katie. One of the takeaways that I'm hearing from all three of you is this combination of it being important work, and also I'm hearing how you all got involved. It makes me think of, first of all, how my organizing and email writing coworkers are good at their job of inspiring people to join the work that we're doing. But it also is a good reminder that I just want to remind all of us here that we have that capacity to inspire each other. And so I want to take a second to plant that seed for everyone listening today. If you tell people about this work and why we're passionate about it, if every one of us can just get one more person to join in an action, we've doubled our people power for that action. So that inspiration and spreading the word is important. And it's also important to have actions to take. And it's important to see those actions work. So let's talk about all of that. And we'll start with you, Tanya. What was it about working with Food and Water Watch that not only drew you, but kept you coming back?
Well, the more I learned about the work that Food and Water Watch was doing, um, and they had been successful in so many areas. I just felt like this was the place to be. I mean, I learned so much so far, things that I didn't even know about before, such as the food and the water and the climate. I love the climate too, and I just felt like it was important work, and as if I could give, I don't write, I work from home, so I have a lot of time since my schedule is flexible. So I was giving as much as I could,
Yeah.
just because I felt like this is really important work, and I want to be a part of it, and I'm so grateful that I am.
Yeah. And you've talked a little bit about how Food and Water Watch has provided scripts and helped you kind of develop this. Can you say a little bit more about what you've learned and how you feel about that?
Yeah. Well, I started out with phone banking, and then I went over to um, the welcome team, welcoming new people that wanted to volunteer. Also, um, calling elected officials for certain campaigns. And with all that, I received scripts that helped me through it. And before you know it, you say it often, so you start making it your own. And a lot of times people are very receptive of your message and what you're trying to get them to do. And it becomes sometimes a conversation with them. So
Mhm.
the scripts really helped me a lot, and they still do.
Yeah, thank you. I love that. What about you, Liz? Why is this work important to you and why do you keep coming back?
Um, Echoing what Katie and Tanya said, the environment is extremely important to me. And I've said it once and I'll say it a million times. I think the climate crisis is the existential threat of our time. And we must all do something to fight against the horror show that is the administration today. So I found that Food and Water Watch has been, of the many volunteer groups that I've belonged to in my short little life, Food and Water Watch has been the most effective. And I keep coming back to working with Food and Water Watch and continue working with Food and Water Watch because this organization wins. And so far, every battle that I've engaged in with Food and Water Watch has been successful. So,
That's amazing.
quite
Yeah, thank you so
simply,
much for that.
I'm coming back to this
That's
organization to fight with them because their methods work. And as Obama has said, when you're feeling despair, and I do on occasion feel deep despair about the climate crisis, Obama has said, when you feel despair, get up and do something.
mhm.
And Food and Water Watch gets me off my seat to do phone banking, like Katie and Tanya said, phone banking, marching, whatever, knocking on doors,
Yeah,
whatever it takes.
I love that.
And
I,
it gets you in a great group of people too. Gets you surrounded by people who have similar values and concerns and motivations. So that's a
Yeah.
I never feel alone, and I always feel
Absolutely.
motivated by the people in Food and Water Watch who help me. And
Mhm.
That's so great. Katie, you talked a bit about the volunteer work really playing to your strengths, and about phone banking. Can you tell us more about that? What has that been like for you?
Well, for one thing, I've learned a ton, which I think is another strength of mine. I just like to learn. And so, all the webinars we have and mailings that go out and stuff talking about different bills or different issues or, whatever, it's really great. And then I am much more able to talk to others about it, whether it's on a phone bank or just family and friends, and make people aware. Um, yeah, and like I said, I'm a super big extrovert, so for me to jump on a phone bank is easy. I also have spent a lot of time doing signature collecting on petitions, and that's something that's very comfortable for me, and I enjoy meeting people a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a people person. I know that's trite, but I am.
No, not at all. And
So
you were really instrumental in this recent win that both Tamara and Michelle mentioned. Tell us all about this. This is exciting news.
it is super exciting news. So yeah, I was involved. So we had several different teams for different states. I was on the Michigan team. Um, and so we had a group of people, and we were just working really hard to get the governor's attention, to schedule a meeting with someone from her staff. That took some doing to find the right person and get a meeting scheduled, and driving calls into the governor. I myself was calling every day. I'm sure, I hope everybody else on the team was too. And we were doing phone banking for that and sending texts to friends. And we tried to get letters to the editor written by us, to all the major papers in Michigan. Got a bunch of signature collections going around to farmers markets and up and down the beach, and finally it worked, and it all came together, and we got 7 all at once, which is
Amazing.
fantastic. I just
Awesome.
couldn't believe it when
Awesome.
Michelle called and told me that. It's like, I
Yeah.
thought it was too much to even think that she was calling to tell me one signed.
Yeah. So exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This never before used rule of 7 governors petitioning the EPA. And here we are talking to one of the people who made it happen. So thank you so much for your work on that. Um,
Sure.
the work that we're talking about tonight is ongoing, and it's hard work, and in some ways it never ends. But when we get a big win like
Yeah.
this, it is really important and fun to celebrate it and appreciate all of the work that went into it. So let's talk about some more wins. Tanya, I know you experienced a pretty big win recently as well. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I was doing, along with others, we were driving in calls to elected officials, um, calling like just about every day, sometimes, because Florida Power and Light had proposed the biggest rate hike in US history at $10 billion. They settled at 7 billion, but that's still a lot. Um, Still the biggest in US history. So we were calling elected officials, and some of the volunteers and staff were meeting with some of them, and we were trying to get them to sign on um, letters to the uh, PSC and um, Governor DeSantis. And finally, we were able to get around 29 people, elected officials on board. And so that was, yeah, and that was a great, it was a great, it was worth the effort, put it that way.
Yeah.
It was very nice to see that people got on board, elected officials, people that have, the power to make changes.
Right. Yeah, thank you so much for your work on that. And it is still
Absolutely.
a lot, but
My
it's
pleasure.
so much lower than it would have been. So that makes a huge difference for everyone
Yeah.
paying their utility bills. So yeah, thank you
Yes,
for your work on that. Um,
absolutely.
and Liz, I know you've been through a series of wins in your time with Food and Water Watch. Tell us all about them.
So not only did we beat the North Bergen frac gas power plant, we also stopped a power plant that was proposed by New Jersey Transit, which was only a mile and a half from where I live. Also a frac gas power plant. So that was two major wins. And now we are fighting very hard against a power plant proposed in Newark, New Jersey, also only a few miles from where I live, in an environmental justice area. And it would be the fourth fracked gas power plant in New Jersey. So we're fighting very, very hard against that. And one of the most exciting campaigns we have in New Jersey right now is the New Jersey Climate Superfund Act. And it looks like we may be very close to getting that act passed. We would be the third state in the nation to enact a Climate Superfund Act. And the Climate Superfund Act, if passed, would mean that the oil and gas industry in New Jersey would be required to pay for any damages incurred by any climate disasters. So, for example, had this act been in existence during a storm like Superstorm Sandy, anyone's home or property that was damaged or destroyed would have been paid by companies like Exxon and BP and all the major oil and gas industries. So we're really close. We're trying to get it passed during the lame duck session of Congress. We would like Governor Phil Murphy to sign it before he's out of office. And I forget, we have a huge number of municipalities now who've signed resolutions against it, and a large number of our state legislatures who are co-sponsors of this bill. We just need to get them to get it on the floor of the Senate and or in the Budget Committee to get it voted on. So there is this when we're going to share the action?
In a little bit, we'll share the action so people can jump in and help with that really soon.
So a large number of people in Food and Water Watch and Food and Water Action have been working really hard, nonstop, to get this bill passed.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm
That would
just,
be so fantastic.
it would. It's just an honor to be a small cog in the wheel of this bigger machine
Yeah,
Mhm.
known as New Jersey Food and Water Watch. So
love
Well,
it.
there are at least six frac gas proposed things going on in New Jersey, and we're fighting all of them through Food and Water Watch.
Yeah. Well, it's an impressive list that we just heard from the three of you of wins and of the work that you're doing. And I feel like it's energizing to hear it all laid out like this. And I kind of wish we could just turn everyone's mics on so we could all give you a big rowdy round of applause. Because I'm guessing everyone listening is as excited as I am about it all. And I also think it's impressive to think that you're three of over 4,000 volunteers working with Food and Water Watch. And so, as we keep saying, it takes a lot of people to build power and build this important community and resistance. And the three of you are an exciting representation of that. So, thank you for everything that you've done and continue to do. And speaking of that, let's talk more about what you are working on now and how can people get involved. And now, Liz, we'll share this in the chat. But do you want to talk any more about the work that you're doing right now?
Me.
Yeah, if you have anything, you may have already shared it, but if you have
Yeah,
anything,
I kind of I jumped the gun on that one, but that for me is the biggest project right now is the Climate Superfund Act. I'm marginally involved in the microplastic fight as well, those are the two big issues for me on the table in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And Murphy was one of the 7 governors who signed the microplastic thing. It's we're a little worried about Mikey Sherrill. So we're working on pressuring her just in case it doesn't pass in the lame duck session. But, we need you to call the governor. We're going to put in the chat ways in which you can help us put pressure on Governor Murphy to get this Climate Superfund Act passed. It is a win-win for everyone in the state of New Jersey. And if New Jersey joins, New York passed the Climate Superfund Act. They were the first. California passed the Climate Superfund Act. The more states we can get to do this, the larger the blow to the oil and gas industry.
Yeah.
They are a dying industry. They are killing us. They knew in the 1970s what fossil fuels were going to do to the planet, just like the tobacco industry knew about what tobacco would do to us. They need to pay.
Yeah.
And we can make that happen.
Yeah.
And it could just take one phone call from you telling 2 people to make a phone call. It is that ripple effect that makes Food and Water Watch work. And Katie and Tanya have proven that with their phone banking. It is so effective.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you live in New Jersey, call Governor Murphy, tell him to publicly commit to signing the Climate Superfund Act before leaving office in January. And we have his schedule and his phone number in the chat. So give him a call. We also have a petition for you to sign. So that's anyone in New Jersey. Please make that happen. And
I don't want to hog any more time, but I caught him in a bird dog. I shook his hand, and we have on record that he said if it crosses his desk, he will sign this bill. So we need all of you out there in New Jersey. Please call him. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good for you getting them on record. Woohoo!
Awesome.
It was some kind of miracle.
That's exciting.
But it happened. And it was fun. Let me tell you, these actions are so exciting and fun. They really are worth it.
I love it.
I agree.
What about you, Tanya? What are you working on right now? And what can those of us listening help with the work you're involved in?
Right now we're we're doing phone banking to get people to call their elected official to to pass a House bill. I don't remember the number, but the bill is to put a cap on that so that they don't continue in a couple years from now, FPL, Florida Power and Light, so they don't continue hiking up those prices, right? So it's to put a cap over that huge hike that they just got. And so that's very important right now. So yeah, we would like to invite as many people as possible to join our phone bank. It's on Thursday, and there'll be a link in the chat.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone who's interested, yes.
Absolutely. We're putting a link in the chat. So if you live in Florida, please sign this petition. We just put a link for that. And we also have a link to join Team Florida to make calls for affordable energy. And thank you, Tanya.
My pleasure.
And last but not least, what are you working on now, Katie? And what can listeners do to help move that work forward?
Mostly I'm still kind of on cloud 9 about this 7 governors signing this microplastics thing. But as Michelle said, the work is not done on that. We just had a huge step, but we got to keep pushing to make sure the EPA follows through, especially given what the EPA has become. But right now in the link I just saw it drop, there's or in the chat, there's a link to sign a petition to the EPA telling them, hey, get on this quick. And there is also national action right now that I would like to draw everyone's attention to. There are a couple bills that would be disastrous in allowing big oil and big ag and general PFAS polluters to dump more wastewater than ever into our water systems. And that just obviously is sickening. So it is going to be voted on in the House, I think, like any time now. So one is called the Speed Act and one is called the Permit Act. So please call your representatives and ask them to oppose this. The number's in the chat right now. It's 877-796. Oh, I just lost it. Sorry.
1949.
Thank you. Teamwork. And I'd like to offer a pro tip on advocating, and that is a lot of people say, oh, well, I'll email. An email is great, but calling is the most effective, second only to going in person to the office. That's just what kind of carries the most weight with your members of Congress. Also, when you call, whether you leave a message or whether you get a person, they literally have a little tally sheet. Well, I'm sure it's computer, not hand, but about who's calling about what and on which side. So if you call 12 times, that's 12 tally marks. And so when they meet with their, representative, the staff does, they're going to hear about all 12 of your calls. They're going to say, we got 100 calls about this today, asking you to oppose the Permit Act.
Important information.
Yeah. So call a lot.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you all three for this fantastic discussion and for all of the work that you do. We are about coming up on time for this section of the session. So I want to ask one final question for each of you, and let's start with Tanya this time. Tanya, what would you say to anyone who's considering volunteering with Food and Water Watch or supporting the work that we're doing?
I'd say hop on and enjoy the ride, because not only are you doing important work, you like Katie mentioned earlier, you are with other like-minded people, and I've met so many great people. I mean, it's just a wonderful community of people with like-minded, and everyone's willing to help you out, give you support wherever needed. Yeah, so join us. It's will be well worth your time
I love
doing
that.
important work such as this.
Thank you so much, Tanya. Katie,
pleasure.
what last words of wisdom do you have to share today?
I say jump in. The water's great. Like any new, job, task, project you're going to take on, the hardest thing is the first step. Sign up for your first phone bank and get going. It's a great community, and you're going to learn a lot and grow a lot and have a lot of fun. So do it.
I love it. Thank you, Katie. And Liz, what would you say to anyone considering volunteering with Food and Water Watch or supporting the work that we're doing?
Just do it.
Great. Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, we couldn't do this without you. And thank you all three for such a great conversation and for all that you do to help protect our food, water, and climate for a livable future. Once again, we're dropping links in the chat so you can learn more about volunteer opportunities near you.
I want to say thank you to the staff for making it so easy for people like me, and I suspect Tanya and Liz and all our volunteers to advocate. I didn't have a clue how to do any of this until I got involved with you guys. And
Well,
thank you.
Thank you as well. Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's such
a to everything Katie said. Could not do it without the staff.
Well, like I said, we couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. I love this. Really appreciate your time this evening. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Special shout out to Matt Smith and Sam DeFalco, Northern New Jersey organizer.
Yay.
All right, next up, I am excited to hear about a fun new program that highlights ways to put some of my favorite skills to use to help build people power. Food and Water Watch Assistant Director of Individual Philanthropy, Madeline Kelsey, is here to introduce us to our new peer-to-peer program. Madeline, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Janine. Hi, everyone. It's wonderful to be here with all of you. Thanks to all of you again for attending. And so, yeah, I wanted to join today to share about a new initiative that Food and Water Watch launched this year that I personally am very excited about. That's our new peer-to-peer program, and that's designed to help you all, as our community members, play a really active role and what I think personally is like a really fun role in helping us to build this grassroots movement for our planet that all of us here, care about so very much. So, as you've heard tonight, Food and Water Watch's 20th anniversary year is this year. And to commemorate this special milestone, we wanted to honor the future of Food and Water Watch and the future of our planet and create a really dedicated effort that makes it easy for all of you to introduce Food and Water Watch's work and this larger movement for a safe and healthy planet to your friends and family and give them an easy way to, take action and be involved with our campaigns. So as an organization that wins on people power and bringing new people into our movement, that's one of the strongest ways you can drive and bolster our work, as others have said. And, one silver lining that we have seen from this truly awful and truly horrific year and everything that's going on in the world is that the interest in taking action is growing and more people are getting involved. People are paying attention and wondering, what they can do about this. And so we want to bring those actions to them and give all of you ways to do that too. So this year we launched the peer-to-peer program that has resources for hosting parties and gatherings dedicated to Food and Water Watch. And then also gives you ways to dedicate big moments in your own life. If you're running or cycling a race, or if you have a birthday that you want to dedicate to Food and Water Watch as a fundraiser, gives you the opportunity to do that and fundraise for us for your big moments. Since, we don't take any corporate money, asking friends and family to make a gift is a really great way to support what we do. So there's a link going in the chat for our peer-to-peer site. If you want to check it out and see the resources and suggestions there for how to bring Food and Water Watch to your community. And this can look like a lot of different things. We've kind of designed it so that you can, make this look the way you would like it to. From anything from, putting a petition out on a table at your birthday party to asking people to make donations in honor of somebody who you love or are inspired by. One thing that I'm doing this year for my holiday party is I put in the invite that, in lieu of a hostess gift, please make a contribution to Food and Water Watch instead. People love it. It's easier to do than rushing to the store for like a silly little thing at the last minute that I don't even want, honestly. And it's a really easy ask to make of people as well. And we've had folks make these events their own, from like having a backyard barbecue to hosting a garden planting. And so we have a lot of other great suggestions like this for how to host and how to fundraise for Food and Water Watch on the peer-to-peer page. So yeah, I hope you'll check it out and that you'll consider dedicating some time in your life to Food and Water Watch next year and help us build this movement together.
Thank you so much, Madeline. I am excited for this program to take off. We've all been talking about finding ways to work within this movement that fits each of us. And I'm always excited to find ways to make work fun, even when it is really serious work. And for me, I think hosting a party can be pretty fun. But in case you want to hear it from someone who's done it, I brought someone here to talk about her experience hosting a Food and Water Watch house party. Jan Quarterman is calling today from sunny Arizona, but she spends a good portion of her time volunteering with Food and Water Watch in Iowa. Jan, thank you so much for being here with us this evening.
Yeah, thank you, Janine. Happy to be here and happy to see us on your screen earlier with that Cancer Gag Act win.
Yes. Let's start off by hearing how you got involved with Food and Water Watch.
Well, I was looking for ways. I come from a family farm. I'm a farmer's daughter, and I was looking for ways to connect with groups that support clean water and regenerative farming methods. And we got lucky and we ran across Food and Water Watch.
I love it. And how did you get to decide to host a Food and Water Watch house party?
Well, it's just not a struggle for me. I did get the ask, and I was just happy to host a party, and it was to celebrate the 20th anniversary. So what better reason could we have? So this was in May, I believe,
Yeah,
and so I said, sure, I'll do it.
I love it. And tell us all about it. What was it like to host a party for Food and Water Watch?
Well, it was great. It was easy. Food and Water Watch sent supplies and made sure people knew about it, so helped with the communications. Our organizer, Michaelin Mankel, came and she brought a couple people that I didn't know that had been volunteers that were in my community I didn't know, so we had a chance to meet each other. People tried my sangria and we watched the Food and Water Watch virtual conference and just really had a nice time together, learning and talking with each other.
Love it. It sounds like a great time to me. What would you say to anyone listening who is considering potentially hosting a Food and Water Watch house party?
Yeah, I would really encourage it. It's just fun, a great way to spread the word about Food and Water Watch and the work that we're doing, and great to hang out with like-minded people and get the work done and have some fun all at the same time.
Well, thank you so much, Jan. I know we're kind of speeding through this because we're up at time, but I really appreciate your time and thanks so much for all of the work that you do with Food and Water Watch and for being one of our first house party hosts. It sounds like it went really well.
It did, and glad to be here.
Thanks, Jan. Well, I'm inspired to throw a party. I hope others as well. Please check out that peer-to-peer website. There are lots of fun ideas on there, and we'll put the link in the chat again. Thank you again, Jan. Thank you also, Michelle, Madeline, Tamara, Winona, Katie, Liz, and Tanya. What an inspiring evening. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for showing up and being a part of our community. If you'd like to increase the impact we can have, please consider making a donation today. As Tamara said, all gifts you give this evening will be doubled and giving you the double impact in getting this important work done. As we've said before, we don't take any corporate funding, so we're not beholden to any special interests other than the health of our communities and our planet. Our support comes from people like you, and a gift today will help us continue to do this important work. And if you'd like to learn more about our work, you can register right now for our next 2 Livable Future Lives events. In January, we'll be hosting an author talk with the author of Winona's Book of the Year. And in February, we will be talking about the state of food and water 1 year in of Trump's presidency. And I hope you will join me for both events. And lastly, please consider taking this short survey that will pop up on your screen in just a minute. I would love to know what you thought of tonight's event, how we could make it better, and what kind of speakers and topics you would like to hear about and from in the future. And as a bonus, I'll be sending out a copy of Winona Howder's book, Frackopoly, to 5 of you who fill out the survey today. Thank you again for joining me tonight. Please watch your email inboxes. I'll be sending out the recording of this event tomorrow. Take care and see you next time.